Hey everybody. So this is part three, the review to Close to the Edge, man. The whole album for Yes, fantastic album. Both side one and side two. All of it collectively took me on a serious journey, and I really dig the way they arrange their music. It would be really interesting to be a fly on the wall and sit in that room as they're sitting together and trying to conceive music and write together and that sort of thing, the conversations, all that. It must be something really trippy. Anyway, yeah, this music takes you deep within the mental fibers of these musicians, man. Fantastic. What a great accomplishment to be able to create music like this, you know? Yes, I gotta get to know them more. So, in speaking of getting to know them more, let's take a quick read here, man. Let's go to Wikipedia and get an idea of the songs, and the whole album, and maybe fill in a couple of blank spaces. I've got a few. So, Wikipedia. There we go. Yes, Close to the Edge. So, Close to the Edge is the fifth studio album by English progressive rock band Yes, released on the 13th of September in '72 by Atlantic Records. It's their last album of the '70s to feature original drummer Bill Bruford before he left to join King Crimson. After touring their previous album, Fragile, the group assembled at Advision Studios in London to record a follow-up, ideas for which had been put down since February of '72. The album marked a development in the band's songwriting, with John Anderson and Steve Howe writing the 18-minute title track, the band's longest song at the time. Side 2 contains And You and I and Siberian Cattroop. Close to the Edge became the band's greatest commercial success, peaking at number 3 on the Billboard 200 in the United States and number 4 on the UK albums chart. A two-part edit of And You and I was released in the US, which reached number 42 on the Billboard Hot 100. Yes supported the album with their 72 to 73 world tour, which comprised over 90 dates and marked the debut of drummer Alan White. Close to the Edge was certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, in '98 for selling 1 million copies. It was reissued in '94, 2003, and 2013. The latter included previously unreleased tracks and new stereo and 5.1 surround sound mixes by Steven Wilson. Critical reception was mixed at the time of the original release, though the album is retrospectively regarded as one of the band's best works and a landmark recording in progressive rock. I tend to read that quite often. I'm starting to see a pattern where critical reception was mixed or downright brutal at the time of the original release, and then retrospectively it's being heralded as something great, you know? So I see that quite often now. And there seems to be some sort of a disconnect that I'm noticing between the fan base that gets it immediately and then the critics who are just so late to the party. But I guess being critics, being paid to be a critic, you've got to show contrast, not too much praise on one side, and maybe you can be as harsh as you want on the other. I don't know. But yeah, I'm seeing that pattern now. I keep reading the same, it's almost the same cut and paste line there about critical reception being mixed, but retrospectively it's being heralded as really great. Very rare am I seeing where it was so well received right out the chute, especially in this time period where a lot of these bands like Yes came up in the late 60s, early 70s. It seems like critics were just not with the times, or maybe it was just too fast moving. There was so much talent available and so many different new sounds coming out that they just couldn't keep up, and they were just being floored and bewildered by all of these different sounds. I'm imagining that's probably a lot of what was happening in a critic's scope. I'm just trying to go into their mind and see from their point of view how things are, instead of just bashing them all the time. All right, man. In his review for AllMusic, Dave Thompson gave the album 5 stars out of 5, hailing it as a flawless masterpiece. In a special edition of Q and Mojo magazines published in 2005, Close to the Edge came in at number 3 in its 40 Cosmic Rock album list. The record is also listed in the musical reference publication 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die by Robert Dimery. In the Reader's Choice of the 100 Greatest Guitar Albums of All Time for Guitar World, the album came in at number 67. Sound and Vision ranked at number 32 on its top 50 albums of all times list. The album also came in at number 5 on Rolling Stone's list of the top 50 greatest progressive rock albums of all time. All right. Hey, fantastic, man. Excellent. Well deserved accolades. Really, really great. Now, it didn't say if Close to the Edge maintains the position as being their best piece of work commercially. It doesn't say that. Let me know if you know. If you're a Yes fan and you know your Yes stuff, let me know if it remains their best piece of work or their top selling, most commercially successful piece of work. It doesn't say here. All right, man. So that is Wikipedia Song Fact info on Yes and this fantastic piece of work. You should be so damn proud of yourselves here, and I'm sure you are. Let me ask you a question. And again, I'm treading into some territory that I've discovered can sometimes generate some serious, how would I say, responses from certain people. I remember asking this question of Led Zeppelin songs, and the response that I got were very, very interesting. I'll leave it there. But let me ask you this question all the same. I'm on this journey, man, and sometimes I wade into it just not knowing a damn thing. The best way to learn is to ask questions. Because sometimes the questions are sacrilegious in nature. So here I go. You ready? What's your favorite Yes album and why? As well, where do you put this particular album in your lineup of Yes albums? Is it number 1, number 2, number 3? It doesn't even make the top 10. And tell me why. And tell me what your favorite Yes album is and why, and where this particular album, Close to the Edge, fits in your scheme of, or on your list of Yes albums. That's my question. So it'll be very interesting to get some responses. I always hold my breath and wait to see what the responses are. I'm still going back to Led Zeppelin, like, man, how dare you ask such a question? What is wrong with you? Stuff like that. So we'll see. All right, man. That is my reaction and review to this fantastic album. And I'll admit to you, man, there are some parts, especially the last song, Siberian Catru, I'm going to have to go and find out what that means. I'm going to have to take a listen a couple of more times, because you're not going to catch everything in the first listen. And the musicianship from Yes overall distracts me from really focusing on the message, the meaning, and all of that sort of thing. So a couple of listens first, just to soak in the musicianship, and then thereafter to really take in and try to get an idea of the full gist of the meaning of the songs. So I think that's just going to be the pattern of my Yes experience. That's the way I do with Pink Floyd. So Yes is certainly right up there, and they're just as cerebral. So I'm gonna have to give them the same treatment. But listen, man, thanks very much for joining me. This was my reaction and my review to this fantastic album, and I'm definitely gonna do more Yes in the future. Let me know what you recommend, and I'll go from there. Have a good day. Take care, and I'll catch you in another reaction. Peace.